I called for girly girl, and instead what I got was drummer. So he's on my lap, and I'm just wiping his eyes because he gets schmutz in the corners of his eyes. In the morning, you might call it sleep. Some people do. Um, but I call it schmutz. It's just a little bit of uh, leftover teardrops from the night that have gathered there. Um, he is so uh, hairy today. I've got his hair all over everything. Drummer, you have to turn around because nobody wants to see the back of your head, okay? Here, turn around, Books. That's a boy. That's my drummer. And I think I've got the screen adjusted to the point where you can see him and not me. Drum, turn around. That means all of you, not just half of you. This is my gorgeous drummer boy. He had one litter of kittens, and they were unfortunately deformed. And I really should have known better than to breed him because, see this little spot right here? It's actually raised hair, almost like a little mole. And that should have told me that genetically he was not a good source of kittens, because that meant that they might be carrying Burmese deformities. So after that first test litter, I didn't use him again. He was neutered. He was shown as a premiership cat, and he did make his grand championship, thanks, among others, to Gary Beach. But a number of judges love his very stocky body and his wonderful balance, his overall balance. The fact that he is also a love bug might have had something to do with it. Excuse me. He's a very, very sweet boy. He thinks nothing of schmoozing all the time. And lately, he's 10 years old, by the way. Lately, he's been coming up on my bed and talking to me in the morning and also at night, while I'm lying there, usually reading. He's got something to say. Sometimes it gets a little annoying because I'm trying to read and he's yapping away at me, and I don't know what the heck he's trying to say. He's very, very vocal all of a sudden, and this is really only fairly recently because he never used to be a vocal cat. And he has a very loud, very abrasive voice. He likes to get right in my face and talk to me, and sometimes it really gets to be annoying, but I put up with it because he's the sweetest guy you'd ever want to meet. I wish I'd been able to continue breeding him, but no smart breeder breeds a cat that is known to have certain deformities. His were head deformities. There were no open stomachs or open spines, but the kittens were born with severe eye deformities, and I really won't go into that because it's not very pleasant. You really don't want to see it either. As a result, he's become an absolutely wonderful pet. Anybody would be proud and pleased and happy to have him in their lives. You can see how laid back he is. He just wants to lie here and be, a pussycat. there used to be, at one time, a number of Burmese deformities in the Tonkinese bloodlines, but they were basically from first generation breedings that were probably not very appropriate. I did a couple of them myself using what they call contemporary Burmese, and that's why Drummer is carrying a defect, because those were cats that were very, very extreme and probably shouldn't have been used in a Burmese breeding program either. There's no reason for Tonkinese to carry those deformities anymore, because people figured out pretty quickly that it was better not to use the so-called contemporary Burmese to start their Tonkinese lines. So the Tonkinese lines, for the most part, are free of external deformities. The problem has come up with heart defects, and there are several bloodlines that carry the heart problems. I don't want to go into details, but suffice it to say that kittens appear to be perfectly healthy, and then all of a sudden they're in the middle of playing and they just drop dead. This is no fun for anybody. The kitten buyer, the breeder, the veterinarian, anybody who's concerned about health in the bloodlines. Again, most people who had these problems in their lines are either gone because they couldn't continue using those bloodlines that they had established or perpetuated, or they bred away from the problem. And what you do to breed away from the problem is simply to outcross consistently, keep outcrossing away from the basic problem line until you no longer have problems. And that's what any smart breeder would do. You really don't want to lose the look and style of your cats, so you need to somehow manage to maintain that look and style while you're outcrossing to lines that have a similar look to yours and a similar style to yours, but don't carry the problems. My cues with Drummer at first were this little spot on the side of his nose, which I don't know if you can see it, but you see that little tiny clump of hairs that looks almost like a little wart, but it's not. That was my first clue. And later on, he developed another little spot on this side of his nose. You can see it right down here in the corner of his eye. At least I hope you can see it. It's never affected his health. He doesn't have, thank goddess, a heart problem. His only real problem is that he's overweight, and since he loves to eat, there's not much I can do about that, because all of my cats eat the same food at the same time twice a day. And he doesn't really go back for seconds, and he doesn't snack. But he's just a very, very chunky cat. He doesn't, it's not that he doesn't know when to stop. In fact, I think he eats less than his daddy, who is Dreidel. But Dreidel, on the other hand, throws up half his food. So Dreidel is always going to remain not slender exactly, but trim. Look at the look on this face. I mean, have you ever seen such ecstasy in your life? He looks like he's sleeping, but he's not. He's enjoying every second of this, being petted and being very, very special on screen. Come here, Drum. Just switch sides. That's a boy. Okay. Maybe you can see a little more of his body here. He is, as I said, chunky. He's not fat. There's nothing here to grab or squeeze on his tummy. It's flesh, but it's hard flesh. It's not soft and flabby. And when he walks, it doesn't swing from side to side. It's just solid. He's a very solid cat. Right, Drum? Are you a solid boy? Yes. He's a solid cat. Look at that sweetness. I don't know what I'd do without it. Thanks for listening, and please subscribe. Take care now. See you another day.